I think that might be where the issue is. Oh, maybe we did.
Yeah, you take a negative factor out. So you have to take a negative 1 out.
Because then it has to be subtracted.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, that might be it, because then you distribute. Okay. Yeah, so we think 5 is wrong. We'll talk about it.
That's right.
I don't know.
That's the right answer.
All right, so we'll go through it and see. Any other ones other than, so we fixed 6. Any other ones that needed to be?
No, I think
The rest look okay. So we'll look at number 5 and then change my answer to I have to.
it's just a shoes, that's a reason.
All right, Becca, you're good? All right, so yeah, there was debate on this one, and it has to do with that negative. So, and it's good for us to talk about this and think about it, because sometimes then we won't make that mistake the next time, or those of you guys who didn't make it the first time, hopefully, are more confident in your answer. So we're gonna kind of group things here. I'm gonna move that 119 over, so it becomes a positive 119, and I don't think that was the issue. So the thing is that we need to, and I think I do agree with you guys now. So, so when we go to do this, we want it to be. No, I don't.
No, you got it. You got it. You got it right.
Yeah, first time. Because you just divide by 2 and then multiply.
Cause like that's what I did.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't think you can do that. I don't. Cause then what I just did. Oh, so this is what I did. Because then I just made that 16 negative.
Yeah.
So.
And that's not right. That's not
I can't do that.
It's totally right. It's totally
No, it's not.
Okay. So.
It just says you.
factors.
Okay, Gary,
Yeah.
prove by it's not.
Otherwise, it's
Prove by
there's no
eyebrow.
point maybe.
Yeah.
If you do like mathematics, it's just like
Yeah, I'm gonna fail this test. I got every problem in the back. No, except for 6. I got 6.
Now it is a minus 16y, right?
Yeah.
And then 64.
Yep. But it's a negative, so it's subtract 6.
Yeah. And okay, so again, what I try doing is just like putting those parentheses in, but I see now that that actually makes that, like, because this is still, oh, and now I need to add. So 9 over here, but minus 64, right?
Yep.
So the reason why I know this is right, and I'm confident about it now, is because when I go to distribute this, it's equivalent to that. If I distribute it the other way, like where I just had thrown those parentheses in, it's not the same expression. So, so definitely, that's a tough one though. Good work, you guys.
No.
He's then.
Yeah, he is. Yo,
No,
what's happening? There.
Well, so we had a hyperbola question, but I think we figured it out. And Garrett and I had the same answer, but we were both wrong.
They were wrong.
Wow.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm zero.
I
No,
would
you're
say
not
right.
there.
Okay,
Julie,
but
that you're
the
wrong.
time is thinking a bowl like you. Like,
Oh, mine are.
I've never seen that before.
I can't
So we're taking
talk.
wrestling pictures last night. I looked down, Sun's got it like all like here, like in a pretty little.
Your hoodie.
I had 2 things. I had a question how did Peyton do in the game.
He got the tip.
That's what I saw. But like.
That was the highlight. It
Okay.
kind of went downhill from there.
Okay, watching the game, you wouldn't think the score would be that bad.
Right. No, I
Are you running
agree.
JV or the varsity?
Varsity.
Yeah.
They looked like really, really good. But like,
But then
They
you looked at the
just-
scoreboard and it
And
didn't.
it did look
Well,
good.
every now and then it's just like
Yeah.
they score all three
Well, and the
possessions.
thing is,
they
at
score
one
2 out
point
of
you guys
3,
were
and
within
by
like
the end of the game,
6,
they're
right? I
like,
mean, like, yeah, they were within 6. I mean, yeah.
That's also wrong, but still ends up as a square hyperbola.
Right, yeah, square, yeah.
Yeah.
a square.
Well, just that he thought our equation when we were writing it was going to end up being a circle because it was the same
Oh,
A and B.
like, brah.
Yeah, he was thinking that way, and so yeah, like kind of.
Yeah, A and B can tie. The guys underneath can tie in hyperbolas because it doesn't matter.
But then ellipse then is
with
a
an
circle.
ellipse, it creates a circle.
Yeah. No, it's
Also, I'm not summing period 2, so you don't have to worry about spelling.
okay.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. So Garrett's wrong, and I'm wrong.
And Matthew and Katie, so.
And we're all right.
Yeah. The winners.
You're right at being wrong.
Yeah, really, Beckham?
What?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
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 And again, off the tip last night, the JVT, like we looked solid, and then like for like about like.
Did anyone throw down any dunks?
Matt tried to, but then.
Matt tried to, and then he got blocked, but he also got fouled.
Yeah. So is it really a successful block? No.
No.
Does he suck?
Yeah, it is.
Because
Oh,
yeah,
so
but
if you
didn't
foul
make
him on
those-
it, that
those
doesn't-
yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
So it
it
doesn't
literally
even
doesn't
matter.
matter. But if he made it,
the kid probably would
I probably would have left the gym.
quit football. Yeah.
He probably
Yeah.
would have left
This is
I throw. It's like,
Because JV, like the JV didn't like the score wasn't as high, like, but it took us a long time to score, long.
I heard it was like the last like 3 or 5 minutes in the first half. It took you guys to
did you get pictures
I
of
feel like our second
your
half.
project?
Well, so yeah, I didn't even know what that project. So I got a couple, and then Reed's mom took a bunch. I think I didn't. Yeah, I
For
didn't.
what? For
We're
some
doing
minutes.
in graphic columns the projects we're doing.
Is
I got
it
a really good
what?
picture of him doing
No,
the
it's the loft with the easels behind you.
Oh, I got one of them. I have one of them for basketball. No, volleyball.
Because I asked him, I'm like, what do you need it for? And he didn't seem to. He said something Mr. Jacobson wants to do. So. But I realized I didn't take many pictures of him playing basketball, like, because basketball's just one of those. Baseball's easier. You stand still a lot. Like, I can take a good picture, but like basketball. No. So I got a really good one of getting the jump. He looks like strong and tall, and then, like I said, all downhill after that. Carson got some points though.
That's good.
Yeah. He was like literally standing on the block, and like Isaac's like looking to pass, and like no, everyone else is moving. Carson's just standing on the block, and like Isaac just fired it, and it goes in. And like, I mean, we only scored like 15, so the fact that Carson scored like is amazing. Like, he had more points than most people on the team. So. All right. We will, and if you ask Carson about it, I'm sure he will tell you all about it.
Oh, I'm sure you.
All right, so thank you guys for finding my mistakes. You guys should get like gold stars. All right. Ooh. All right, so this is like our last brand new thing. Then what we're gonna do tomorrow is we're putting them all together, kind of like what Cash was talking about with whether or not that was a circle or an ellipse. Tomorrow we'll talk about how to tell if it is a circle, ellipse, or hyperbola as we go through these. So it's kind of, we'll kind of put them all together tomorrow. But again, we'll do tomorrow, like, so we'll notes today and tomorrow, and then I plan on Friday being review, and then Monday test. So I think we're on track for that, unless something breaks down before then.
So are we like splitting these notes up?
I don't think so. I think they're big. We'll see.
No, I was just wondering because you said today and tomorrow, but I remember.
Well,
you
yeah,
said-
we'll do C5 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just have to give myself a note to fix these. My answer key.
Our parabolas are
Our parabolas.
Well, so these are different than the parabola. Not really. They're the same parabola,
Awesome.
I already can't understand this stuff.
Guys, today's December 1st.
I just said that.
Straight.
Sorry, I wasn't
You
listening.
still trade money tomorrow.
Sorry.
Trade
Sorry.
money.
TT money.
What's the score of this 32?
Huh?
Oh.
It's like 4, basically.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fun date. Like it's every other number.
Oh.
I always look for patterns in numbers like that. Like my odometer distracts me a lot when I'm driving when there's like little patterns in the numbers.
Oh, I thought
Say,
that
what do
said
you
Definitely a math teacher right here.
What?
Like I like looking for patterns in numbers. So like this is 1 2 1 2. You know, like so when I'm driving and my odometer has like a cool like pattern of numbers, like I like always point it out to whoever's in the car with me or like I want to take a picture. I don't take a picture typically because I'm driving. Yeah.
I thought for because like 12/1/12, like it was 2012.
Yeah.
And it's just like three.
We just went back in time with our time machine.
Well, December 12th of 2012 is the last 12 that we'll ever have. Because after that.
No, 3012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
We
wait
still
till
be
that
live for
happens.
Okay. Okay, guys.
Or what about 21, or, yeah, 2112.
Oh yeah, it's sooner than that.
Yeah.
What are we in right?
So when the
We're
year,
in 2021 right now?
So it's like 100 years.
100 years
Yeah.
from 2012. Like that.
well, that's gonna be a
But
fun
I
day.
feel like then we will write like something.
But
like,
we won't.
No, we might.
No,
we might.
That's very.
I feel like that's 107 for me.
That's like
And by then there might be so many advances in the medical field that you're still alive.
I'll be at 107.
I saw something on the internet where someone had said like kids who are born now are gonna be like they'll get to see the year 3000. like kind of the idea we're just talking about that.
medical advance.
Yeah, you're not thinking like no. Well, no, they were just saying like they were thinking
They were
after
thinking
after
3000
comes
was
after
100
two.
years.
Yeah. So like
Well, I mean,
place value is kind of an important thing.
Funny.
All right.
you never know what future.
I'm missing a second.
I know when he was asking like what number, like where did he get like
And I'm
36,
done, too.
32?
Look.
Okay. Look at you. All right. So, the warm up, I wanted to kind of remind you guys about graphing parabolas, like so kind of the way we did it when you first graphed parabolas. Now you might not remember how to graph this, depending on what you guys recall, but so y equals x squared minus 5. So x squared tells us it's a parabola. The minus 5, do you guys remember what that does to our graph? Moves it what? No, that's not right. Yeah, down 5. So kind of thinking about that. And then if you, I don't know, because Matthew, your graph looks pretty good. What did you do? Did you just remember how to graph it?
No, I just sucked numbers.
What is it?
Sucked numbers.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So if you were unsure, you could substitute numbers in. So if you put 0 in, 0 squared minus 5 is 0, or is negative 5, sorry. So that's how we end up down at negative 5. And then if you substitute numbers in, 1 squared is 1, minus 5 is negative 4. But the same thing is going to happen on the other side because it's got symmetry. And then if you do 2, 2 squared is 4, minus 5 is negative 1. And then 3, 3 squared is 9, minus 5 is 4. And so we have our parabola. So that equation for graphing a parabola is actually kind of similar to what we're looking at today. However, it's going to be a little bit more complex than that. So, and they're going to ask us for a few other items in our parabola. So, with our parabola, just like we've had with our other like shapes, there's a focus. Now rather than having the center of a parabola, we have a vertex. And now the vertex is the same distance from the focus point as it is from this line called the directrix. So this line is something we're going to bring up. The axis symmetry we'll talk about. But the focus, so if I take the focus and hit the graph and then go back to the directrix, that line should be the same length. So these are all like equidistant.
Big words.
Yeah, I know. So we're gonna have to learn some of those other ones, and then we're also gonna talk about parabolas today that also point left and right. So our parabolas can point up or down, but also left or right. So we're gonna talk about those types as well. So just like we've had before, we have our standard form. And our standard form obviously doesn't look like the one in our warm-up question. There's a whole lot more going on there.
Is the left one horizontal?
What's that?
Is the left one horizontal?
Mm-hmm, very good, yeah. Oh wait, no, it's
Yeah,
not.
see, I was testing you.
Oh, I was gonna say, 'cause X comes first.
Yeah.
and I was like-
Well, so yeah, I initially, the x comes first, but the x is the one being squared. So like in our warm-up, the x is squared, so it's pointing up. This one, the y is being squared, so this is the horizontal one. So this is the one we haven't done before. So I'm gonna draw a couple little sketches here, so leave yourself a little bit of space. We're gonna draw 2 parabolas on each of those.
I was testing you.
I literally said,
I'm sure you would.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, you would.
Now, when we were in algebra, we talked about an a value being positive. Now they talk about the p value instead. So if p is positive, it points up. If p is negative, it's going to point down. Now again, some of the important points we're going to talk about are the directrix, which is a line that basically is like kind of almost like if you were underlining the parabola or like putting a lid on it on the top. It's just a line that's right beyond it. The focus is always within it. And then again, this directrix is going to go kind of like under or over it depending on the shape. So, orientation, we're going to call this vertical. So, and we'll come over here and do this one. So, now this one, again, the y is being squared, so this actually is going to be open to the left or right. And just so you guys are aware, like, these are 2 separate graphs. So, like, these aren't on the same graph paper. Hopefully that makes sense. But so I'm going to start with p being positive. So it goes this way then if p is positive. So it opens to the right. If p is negative, it's going to open to the left. And again, there's still this focus and directrix that we'll talk about. Alright, so rather than having a center, this gets a little bit confusing because all of our other ones have had centers and then they've had like co-vertices. This one has a single vertex and this one's like, it's right on the, but there's only the one, but still our h and k. So just like, it's kind of, the vertex is kind of our center of our parabola. So that's going to be h and k. is that point kind of inside the parabola, where everything's kind of based off of. That would be like where we put our little thumbtack when we did that activity. So the focus, there's only one focus though, so that maybe makes it a little bit easier. So it's h comma and then k plus p. And again, that p shows up in the equation there. And this one's just the opposite. Now the axis of symmetry is always running like through the graph, like it's perpendicular to the directrix that we're talking about, that new line that we haven't used really before in a parabola. So the axis of symmetry, I'll do that one over there just because I love, is y equals k on that one. And this one's going to be x equals h over here. And then finally the directrix is going to be k minus p. So we do k plus p up here, k minus p down here. Again, thank goodness for a note card.